In this video, I'm going to do an example of a consecutive integer problem. Okay, so here's our problem. The sum of three consecutive even integers is 36. What is the greatest of these integers? So the first thing that we need to do, our first step, is to define our variables. So let's let n equal the least, which means the smallest integer. And if n is the smallest integer, the next integer, they're even integers, consecutive even integers, so the next one has to be n plus 2. If you think about it, if your first integer was 4, you'd have to add 2 to get to 6, which is the next even number. So n plus 2 is the middle integer, and n plus 4 would be your greatest integer. Okay, the next step that we need to do is we need to turn this problem into an equation. So when we turn this into an equation, we're just going to basically translate this sentence here. So the sum of three consecutive even integers is 36. So by sum, we mean that we need to add them all together. So let's do that. n plus 2 plus n plus 4. And it says our sum is 36. So that means this equals 36. The next step we need to take is we need to solve this equation. And the first thing we're going to do that, of course, is draw our river. We always draw a river to keep our sides separate. And we're going to combine our like terms. So like terms, we've got n, we've got plus n, we've got plus n. And then we have plus 2, plus 4. Let me box those because the colors are a little too similar. Okay, so if we add all of our n terms, we get n plus n gives us 3n. 2 plus 4 gives us 6, so 3n plus 6 equals 36. Next step we need to take is we need to undo everything that's being done to n over here. The furthest operation from the variable is the plus 6, so that's what we undo first. So we undo adding 6 by subtracting 6. Subtract 6 from both sides. And that leaves us with 3n equals 30. Okay, so now 3 is multiplying n. Whenever we have a number and a variable right next to each other, the operation that's happening is multiplication. And we undo multiplying by 3 by dividing by 3. So divide by 3, and that leaves us with n equals 10. Okay, so that is our n was our least integer. And so let's check our answer. Let's see if this works. So our least integer was 10, and then the next one we'd add 2 to get would be 12 and plus 14. Add them all together. If we add all those together, that gives us 36, so it checks out. And then the final step in all these problems is to answer the question that was being asked. So if we look back, they want us to tell us what is the greatest of these integers. So we're going to write a nice complete sentence and say the greatest of the integers is, and we want to look and see our greatest one was n plus 4, so that was 14. That's the biggest of these. So the greatest of the integers is 14. And that would be the answer to our problem.